Hi everybody. I gotta tell on myself. I just did the video on this. I went all the way to the end of the book and I looked up and my phone was black. I'm just sitting here talking to myself like it ain't nobody's business. So I'm gonna try this again. This journal measures 7 by 4 3/4. And it's got one of my jewelry pieces that I've sewn onto this ruffle and attached to the book with some lace behind it. Pretty sewn in gold. And there's the spine. And then I brought the lace all the way over, and it's this delightful textured fabric. It's got a muslin tie closure that I stitched on the edges and then stitched a little pattern here. And on the inside, y'all know I'm looking at this phone every 5 seconds to make sure that it's on. On the inside, I took this gorgeous lace and I put it over the whole piece, front and back. Oh, it's just wonderful. So pretty. And here's a pocket, and it was pink, and then I coffee dyed it, and stitched around it in the white, added lace. And inside is a letter, pretty rose on this side, and a vintage shoe on this side with some flowers sticking out of it. Yep. You know, I like to see, so we're going to put it that way. On this side, I've got a vintage lady with some ephemera, an invoice behind there, and pink stitching throughout. This is part of a curtain that I put over the pocket. It's got some nice stitching on it, some pretty flowers, and they're raised. Some cross stitching down here. And then inside, I had a lot going on, so I didn't want to put too much, but I put one of these cards, you know, that I make. If I can get it open. One of these thingies. And then a plain piece of paper, coffee dyed, with a little pen image, ink pen, fountain pen I should say, fountain pen image. Really pretty soft lace going down the edge. And then I stitched on this side, piece of ephemera here. Big place to journal here with the pink stitching, and this is the lace coming from the other side. Stitching here, vintage image of a lady with her 2 daughters. And this is part of a postcard. It's got a little bit of stitching here. My lovely stitching. And pink stitching up here, pink stitching, more of that curtain here with a vintage lady. Y'all know I love these vintage lady images. This is such a pretty page with the lace and the pink embroidery going down. Little pretty card there. And this is a pocket, and this is cloth that's been stamped on. Coffee dyed pocket. Some stitching from the other side coming down. Got a piece of ephemera back here with some coffee dyed paper and the snippets. Over here is a huge piece of ephemera. Really pretty snuff boxes and tobacco boxes. And on this side, which is the side that I really love, are the shoes, the vintage shoes. Over here, got some pink stitching and a vintage lady, and that's part of a doily. And then this is a fabric pocket. I thought it went really well with the pink. And a vintage card for journaling. Or for doodling, if you're a doodler like me. Over here's that really pretty font from that book that I got at the estate sale with part of a paper doily behind it. And a piece of ephemera. Large piece of ephemera. I think this is a music page cover. And that is pink sari silk. Lined paper, very faint. And this is another part of a postcard here from Western Union. Over here's a pocket with a paper doily behind it and part of that curtain over it. And a piece of lace with the vintage lady and some gorgeous roses in the pink. And pink stitching here, lace edge. And this is script stamped. Look at those glasses. Aren't they a hoot? Love those. And over here is more stitching. Pretty roses here. A vintage image. Another part of a postcard. I really like this page. Here I put an invoice and a vintage image of a lady reading to her daughter to sleep, reading her daughter to sleep. And then I put a journaling card over it and stitched around it, and then lace running down the edge here. I really like this style. I think I did it twice in this book. I think that kind of brings it together when you do something twice in a book. Different images, but the same style. It kind of just brings it full circle. Vintage image here. Another part of a postcard. Here's a pocket with a piece of ephemera in the background. And some papers to journal on. And a ruffle here stitched in gold. And this is part of a curtain that I coffee dyed. And this is where the rod would go in right here. Just kind of neato bonito. Pink stitching running down the edge. Nice place to journal. Over here is some ephemera, and then I put a postcard over it and heavily inked the edges here. It's a lace pocket with some fabrics and a brad. There's some more lace there. And this is like a little photo book. Got that corrugated paper behind it with an image there. You can put your pictures. It's just a little keepsake thing for you to add something special for you. Stitching down the edge. This is another part of that postcard. Here's that page again. I used some vintage ladies here. Piece of ephemera, an invoice, and then I stitched around the journaling card and attached it with the lace going down the side. There's a charm, heart charm with a safety pin and some fabrics. A pretty lady with a cloth stamped Paris stamp. And here's another part of that postcard. Some fabrics up here. And some, this is the lace that's sticking out from the other side with the stitching running down it. Another vintage lady, pretty umbrella. And some fabrics here. And another piece of muslin that's stamped with a key. When I was sewing this book together, this Western Union page, I was laughing with Valerie because I was singing the Western Union song. And she said, that's one I've never heard, so we had to Google it. And it's not the one with the Elvis Presley. I think it's called the American Hero 5 or something. I'm not sure. I'm really dating myself. Seriously dating myself. But I was singing that song as I was putting the book together. And we were just giggling. Up another part of that postcard. Over here is that curtain again that I heavily coffee dyed with some ephemera in the background, and then I stitched all the way around the page. And it's a pocket with some coffee dyed papers. And I just left the edge here rough. I just kind of, when I cut, I kind of turn my scissors and kind of, so I'm not cutting straight. And back here is, again, that page is stitched all the way around. It's got a Tiffany & Company stamp with a little mini ruffle and some lace and a vintage lady. And I put a notebook in there that's got stamping and pages to write on, all different kinds. And here's the other part of that ephemera with the shoes. Ladies walking fast. That's funny. Walking fast. And over here, oh, we have cigar holders. Look at how intricate these cigar holders were. And they're $1.50 each. I'd make a good Christmas gift for somebody. They don't make stuff like this anymore. They really, really don't. Look how pretty they are. That's got like a fox, and that's got a horse on it, and that's got a horse on it. It's really pretty. Not that my dad used to smoke cigars. Oh, I remember coming in the living room and there'd be like this layer of smoke. You know, it was back then when they didn't know that that wasn't good for you. But he enjoyed a good cigar up to the... And he lived to 92. So, you know, and he smoked a cigar every day of his life. There's some pink stitching running down here. Nice pretty vintage image with the lace. This lace is so delightful. And there's the stitching, the vintage label. And here's a lady on a pocket here with some ephemera in the background. And two nice coffee-dyed line journaling cards. And over here, another vintage image. This is just kind of like a little collage of things. It's some scrapbook paper and part of a vintage chain image, a rosette, little mini ruffle. And this just holds the papers in place with a big piece of ephemera back here. Little butterfly and a card with a stamp. Over here, some stitching, my beautiful stitching. Can you see that? Another pretty part of that postcard. Oh, y'all, this is a hoot. Look at this. Can y'all see this? You see this? Look, the bicycle wheels are bigger than they are. That was one way to catch a ride back then. I bet that was uncomfortable. And there's another big page for journaling. It's got some newsprint running down here, and it's kind of a pinky coffee color. And other part of that ephemera page. Some more of that nice, gorgeous lace. And another pretty image here. And here's the back pocket. It matches the front. Dogs are yawning. And two vintage cards. You bring me great joy. And, you know, this could be used for a bookmark. That would be kind of coolio. It's got some stamping on it. Both of them do. So you could kind of use this, you know, wherever you happen to be journaling as a bookmark. I may have to make some more of those. That's kind of neato. And again, here's the back with the lace. And the side. And the front with my jewelry piece. I want to thank y'all so much for being here with me today. And I will see you shortly in the next video. Bye-bye.